Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a celebrity psychic reading on Gabrielle Union. For those of you that don't know who she was originally on that movie Bring It On back in the early 2000s. She's been on, I believe in a Tyler Perry movie as well. She is set to appear with Jessica Alba on a show called LA's Finest, I believe. And so, yeah, she's involved in a lot of movie projects and, TV. She is an actress, and she's just multi-talented. So I'm going to be talking about what I see for her in her career and her love life and, um, you know, finances and what I see overall, just like I would do in a regular private reading with a client. So when I tune into her soul, I do feel like she is genuinely a good person. I do get that, she has to be kind of tough in the world that she's in right now. Very sweet on camera, but I do feel like it's a different personality when she's, in business mode, doing her roles and scripts. She takes it very seriously. She takes what she does very seriously. She is an utmost professional. I don't feel like she is a diva by any means. I do feel like she's very good to work with and funny, and she does crack jokes and whatnot. That's what I'm getting from her soul. I do see that this year, she is going to have some challenges with production of this show that she's working on. There are going to be some issues with perhaps with certain, hours that she's working. There's a lot of stress for her, so she does need to take care of herself. She is a new mother, even though she, that's her child through a surrogate. She had it with her husband, Dwayne, which I'll get into them in a minute. But, being a new mother, I feel like this has changed her completely, has changed her life in the way that she views things. So it's all about balance for her right now. And even though she's being pulled to her professional, job, her daughter is everything. Their daughter is everything to her right now. I also get that, in her relationship, there's a lot of love. I do feel like these two, her and her husband, Dwayne, are soulmates. She has been married 2 times, for those of you that are listening. This is her second marriage, so that way you kind of know the background. I'm giving you a little bit of it. But I do feel like her first marriage was actually a twin flame, and this one's actually her soulmate. And I do feel like they vibe off each other. They do, they both have the same goals. There are, couple goals, hashtag couple goals. But I see her very focused on money, very focused on her career right now. This is what she is wanting to do, is to really make a name for herself, which she already has, but it's all about, furthering her career and creating this empire in many ways of what she is doing right now. I do feel that, that her family, they all support her, her friends support her, and there is a lot of future planning that she's doing right now regarding her family. So, one of the questions is, would she be having another child? And I do foresee that it's very possible that they are already planning or talking about having their next child within 2 to 3 years from now, if not sooner. So there is another child coming in for Gabrielle, and I'm going to call her Gabby. Because Gabriel, or sometimes it can be pronounced different ways. I'm gonna call her Gabby. I do see that she is definitely gonna be, she wants to have it normal, but for some reason, she can't. There are some issues there. That is something that she's spoken about already. And I get that she will probably most likely go with the surrogate way again. But yeah, I do feel like there are plans for that. There are some challenges this year that she is going to encounter, not so much in her career, but I feel like in her friendships, in her social circle with friends, there is going to be a falling out between her and another close friend that she has. I feel like they come to Gabby, and it's like always, the drama and their personal problems. And even though she has that, she's that girl that, that woman that you can go to and really, she's a good, loyal friend, she has a lot on her plate already to deal with. So it's like she has, it's very draining when you have a friend who just comes to you with problems, and that's all they come to you with is when they have a problem or they need something from you. And I think a lot of you out there could relate to that. So I am getting that that's something that she is, going to, these are more personal on a personal level. So I don't know if it's going to make it out in the media. I don't think this would be something that she would discuss, if it's among herself. I also feel like, she is going to, apart from the show, there is something going on with a movie. So there is a movie role, something, a movie project that she's going to be dividing her time. A lot of traveling to and from, I get, West Coast, East Coast. So there's going to be a lot of traveling for her. I do feel like, this is where the money is completely for her. Something is telling me, that it's very possible that she may try to have another child, like I said, but try to go this time and get pregnant the normal way and suffer another miscarriage. And I hate to say that out here on, on air through this. This is something that I am getting. So again, I feel like she may try that route again, but there could be a potential miscarriage. I do feel at one point, if she really was to be less stressed, it's very possible, that she could possibly fall pregnant, and that pregnancy would not be a high risk or wouldn't result in a miscarriage. But again, I do feel like for many reasons, she may go the surrogate route again. But she has a positive aura around her. She is someone who is very much aware, intuitive. If you look in her eyes, they're very lively. They're not dead. Like some people that you look at celebrities, their eyes are just like there's nothing there. So she definitely has her soul. She definitely is very consciously awakened. And she can, decipher, between who is good and what's not good for her. And so in her career, I don't see that she's going to really have any setbacks. Where her, she's well liked and everybody respects her and her professionalism. So I don't see any issues in that area. But what Spirit is showing is that she's definitely making decisions and kind of, deciding where where her career is going to go next. She's always thinking about the next thing. Oddly enough, I don't feel like she's always going to be, doing this, TV and movies. She may evolve eventually to like, hosting a TV show. It's very possible. Or even, doing some work with, in the beauty world. If this could be like having her own makeup line, a perfume line. There's going to be some other projects that she's involved in that we're definitely going to see her going into. When it comes to her home life and with her family, mainly with Dwayne's family, I don't know what the issue is here, but what's coming in from Spirit is that by the end of the year, close to the end of the year going forward, there could be some issues that come up with the family in her home life that are more prevalent, become more prevalent and may even come out into the news. Someone may be bashing her, or, there's a rumor started about Gabby. So that's something that we will have to see how that plays out. But there is a lot of her, turning to her spiritual side, to her faith, and really, just trying to be more outspoken. I feel like she holds a lot of the things, that she carries inside of her, and she doesn't really talk about it. And that's kind of unhealthy because it can lead to depression. And she would be someone that would be very prone to that if she's not careful with her, letting that out and airing it and not trying to be, perfect. Because I'm not saying that she's trying to be perfect, but, in many ways, when you don't talk about your emotions and things that you're feeling and you suppress those, it can become very toxic and play mental games with your mind and affect you and in your private time, um, she could go through that, definitely. So let's get into her relationship now. I'm going to get into the next slide. All right, this is Gabby or Gabriel with Dwayne Wade. He is a basketball player with Miami Heat, I believe, the Miami team. Um, and that is her husband, who she's been with for quite some time. So I think a lot of people are asking, will they remain together? What is the situation with them? Like I said, I feel like they're soulmates. I think Dwayne is a great guy for Gabby. He's a pillar of strength, a very chill guy. He has his moods. He has his his moments where he may not agree with her, but I do feel like ultimately he spoils Gabby, and basically, whatever she wants, she gets. That's kind of like the energy that I get between the two of them. I will say that, later down the road, things will change in the relationship. Just like with any celebrity, their life is put out in the spotlight. He needs to be careful with not turning into like this Chloe and Tristan, or that kind of situation where a lot of these basketball players, or sports guys, regardless if they're black or white or Asian, people, guys in general that are in sports, or entertainment, but specifically sports, they are very attractive to women out there, and women find them, appealing. There's these parties that they go to. Gabby and him are not always going to be together, when he's traveling for games and stuff like that. So again, and she has her own, her own filming. So there is time apart, and I feel like if he's not careful, this could, lead to a situation down the road. How soon would that be? Not that he would intentionally cheat with her, but once, you've had too many drinks and things like that happen, it can get to that level. But I do feel like he has a respect for her. He would never cross that line. But like I said, I see some turmoil later down the road in this relationship. Um, and I'm keeping it real. I'm not one psychic to sugarcoat or take sides or didn't do any of that. I keep it real on all of my readings, whether people like it or not. And I just feel like there is going to be a moment where he could possibly slip up. And that is going to be, determining whether or not this relationship goes. So in the long term, would this relationship, even though they're soulmates, be a long-term relationship for Gabby? At this point, I want to say no. I don't see this relationship being a long-term marriage or relationship. And I feel like the problems are not yet surfacing, but they will surface at some point. And I feel like it has to do more with Dwayne and his mentality, and, being around, his buddies, and that environment, of parties and celebrations and things that they go into where they're surrounded by a lot of people. And for Gabby, she's a no nonsense type of gal, she's not going to tolerate it. So at some point, this is like a fairy tale couple in many ways. Um, and I'm rooting for them, and I think a lot of people are rooting for them to work out. But in the long term, I just feel like they are going to have issues, and it's going to be, again, due to infidelity, and maybe flirting, things that kind of break up a relationship that is good. I also feel like for him, he's going through a lot of changes now in his life, his health. He does need to watch his, what he puts in his body. I will say that, even though he is in sports, and, they're exposed to a lot of different things. Whatever he's taking and putting into his body, it can affect his health down the road. And so he needs to be careful with that, because later on, when he's much older, it can lead to, vascular issues, circulation issues of that nature, and even problems with his kidneys down the road. I also feel like he is eventually going to change teams. There's definitely going to be a change in teams for him, but he does need to be careful for an injury. There, if he's not careful, he will have an injury within 2 years or less that will kind of set his career back where he wouldn't be able to play anymore. So he just needs to be careful with that. The injury would be most likely in the shoulder area, very, very possible. So again, he does need to be careful with that. But other than that, I feel like they are definitely soulmates and the relationship is working now. And keep in mind that, when we do psychic readings, that nothing is 100% written in stone. I'm not a fortune teller. This is not something that is a specific science. Anything can change at any given time because of people's free will. Like Gabby and Dwayne have free will. So anything that I see right now, that is more future oriented can change due to their free will and decisions that they make. But right now, this is what I see. This is the snippets that I see for them. But they are a beautiful couple, a beautiful family. They have a lot of light surrounding them. But with Dwayne, there's this lack of always reaching for to fill like a gap. I don't feel like he's truly happy. Yes, he's happy. He has money. He's a millionaire. They are. He's in sports. But ultimately, I don't feel like he has happiness within himself. If you look at the eyes of Gabby on the left, and you look at his eyes on the right. I mean, hers just exude energy, a positive aura. They exude a lot of happiness, a lot of inner happiness. And I don't feel like it's necessarily that he makes her happy or, having her daughter now, makes her happy. But, happiness begins from the inside. And when it comes to Dwayne, I just feel like he's not entirely happy. It could be that, he's tired of playing in a certain way, or being around that kind of environment, or it could be that he just, now that he is married, and he's a father, it kind of is settling in, even if he's a father or not, it doesn't matter. I want to retract that and go back. Even though he has, biological daughter with Gabby, and he's a father, that's really not what is changing him. But again, like I said, there's just something about him that he needs to focus on what can bring him happiness. And it's not going to be basketball. It's not going to be the money. It's not going to be the homes, the fancy cars, the clothing. This is a mental battle that he is going to face. So, like, would he be depressed? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Instead of beating around the bush, sometimes I go off on a tangent. And I apologize for that. But yeah, I do feel like he has a lot of issues, inner demons, if you want to call them, that he has to deal with in order to make this relationship work in the future. Because otherwise, the strong one is Gabby. And it's like this is a trend in a lot of celebrity readings that I find that a lot of the women are the stronger ones in the relationship. Not, physically strong, but mentally and spiritually stronger than, their guys that they're with, their partners, which is very surprising, because usually sometimes there are guys that are a little stronger. But, for the most part, I think that, I think that women in general are a lot, I'm not trying to be biased or take sides, but I do feel like females typically are a lot stronger and have a lot more level-headedness and compassion, and they bring, a lot of love and light to relationships, which is not always the case, but for the most part, just women are special, and I feel like they are, they have to make the family work or make that environment. I guess those of you that are listening kind of understand what I'm trying to say. I feel like, the women are like the matriarchs. They are the pillar of support or the glue that holds their family dynamic together in many ways. Men, typically we can, do that, but it's not at the same level. We kind of are more logical, or we kind of more analytical, or we, don't have a lot of emotion and compassion. And that's something that, that he needs to work on in order for this relationship to work. So yeah, this is what I see. This is my psychic reading for a Gabrielle union. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you would like to book a private reading, you can go to my website. It's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. Blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world. Thank you.